speaking in the right way with your colleagues will save you years of therapy.
È vero.
Who's gonna tell you no? And then if they tell you no,
yeah, then blacklist. No, I'm joking. Maybe not.
everybody is like, they told me I need to lose weight, so I have to do it as fast as I can. And it's like, no. Boh, io lo faccio partire.
Ma a parte che, cioè, capiterà anche che ci impapineremo, caro.
Sì.
Cioè...
Prendiamola con filosofia.
Esatto. It's the first time. Good.
It's actually the very first time for me.
Ok. 3, 2, 1, go.
Vai.
Ok. Cioè, tipo coro?
Sì.
Ok. Hi dancers! Dovremmo avere il gong.
Hi dancers!
Welcome to this video. As some of you might know already, well, I am Giulia. I'm a professional dancer living in Milan. I worked in Dresden Opera Ballet for many years, then moved to the Stuttgart Ballet. In 2024, I joined La Scala, and I have a YouTube channel since like 2 years. And today we're having a nice conversation about ballet topics and things that we normally talk about over a coffee. And we're like, why shall we not make a video? So this is how the idea was born. What about you?
I am Carola, I am 28 years old. I graduated in Barcelona when I was 18, and then I went to Frankfurt to work in the Dresden Frankfurt Dance Company with Jacopo Godani. And then in 2021 I decided that I wanted to teach, which is what I always wanted to do from the very first day that I started doing ballet in my city. I went back to Italy, I started studying, because I think it's very important to follow a university path whenever you want to work with somebody else, with somebody's body, with somebody's mind, but you cannot improvise yourself.
No. So my first question, why did you think it was important for you to start The Complete Dancer, this big project of yours?
So I decided opening it because from the very beginning I've always been told that I had the qualities to become a professional dancer, but I noticed during the path that something was missing in my knowledge. For example, I knew how technically things should have been done, but I was not fully able to apply it to myself, so I was struggling with my body.
I give for granted that everyone knows what The Complete Dancer is, but can you quickly say what's the page about?
So The Complete Dancer was born as a page to help pre-professional and professionals to work on a more sustainable way with their bodies, with their mind, because we know this career is very short.
Yeah.
So if in the meantime we get injured or stuff, we don't fully enjoy
and
this not much time that we have. So this is why I opened it, to help everybody that feels like there is something more and they don't know how to achieve it. And now you.
Now me. About YouTube.
Why did you open your YouTube channel?
The idea just rose up. I was following a lot of dancers on YouTube, of course, watching their life, and I thought it was interesting to share from my point of view. I just wanted to give a backstage look to the people that are very passionate and come to the theater. I know there are a lot of people that come to watch almost every show and that they would love to see the backstage, like how does it work, how does our day look like. Also, I've been asked if being a professional dancer it's a real job. So I just wanted to put it out there, and sometimes I do these daily vlogs where I show like how we train. I also thought it would be helpful to know how I sew my point shoes, because someone that maybe doesn't have access to big schools and academies can find this video and learn things about how I sew my point shoes, how I break my point shoes. And it could be just fun and entertaining.
Many times I remember myself being in school and being like, but how is it?
Yeah,
like
how does it work?
Yeah, what happens when you finish a show?
Yeah.
For example, how is it? How is it the before? How is it with your colleagues?
From the smallest things to the bigger things, yes, it can be very interesting. So, next question. Well, so you opened The Complete Dancers, where you question many things. When was the moment you started questioning?
With experience, because of course when you're younger and they tell you this has to be done this way, that's the only way you think that can be done actually.
Yeah.
Also because ballet teaches you that what they tell you, you do. So that's it, there is no way out. And seeing that some people were doing things differently on stage than I was taught in school.
When you joined the company, right?
Also when I was in school, like for example, maybe I was watching videos and I was like, but this is not how we do it in class, you know? This like the professional dancer on stage is not doing it as we do it in class. So that's when I was like, then is this necessary to push so much, for example, on something like Andeor, when Andeor is never used 180 degrees on stage?
Also, not
Many
everyone
reasons.
can turn out 180
Also, not
degrees.
everyone. So I rather see somebody that has less Andeor but can actually enjoy their dancing than somebody that has a perfect Andeor but is like going around like this on stage. Nutrition, I never questioned anything about it because everybody was just telling me that I was too big.
How old were you when they told you this, when they told you that you were too big?
Actually, they started when I was 14.
Wow.
And I just couldn't. Like there was something that was stuck in me that couldn't make me do like a real diet, a healthy diet. You know, I always had to go back to junk food and to these kind of things because then that's when psychology arrived. And I was like, is it possible that everybody is having this path? Like, is everybody struggling as much as I am?
I think the problem with the school when you're so young is that teachers, they don't have the knowledge, tell you have to lose whatever kilos, but they don't, the school doesn't support you to get to your best self in an healthy way.
Totally.
Where I've been abroad, so I can't speak for everywhere, but I feel like in England, for example, they're much more loose about this. They're not so fixed with body because they wait until you join the company to then see how you do. They kind of leave you, which makes sense. They kind of leave you these years where you're kind of blooming, let's say, adolescence or what, in English is that. Yeah, so I think people should have patience and see how the job market does, you know, if people find a way. But when you're 14, okay, if you have to touch the topic, you have to be a little bit more sensitive. You can't just say, I know many stories of my friends that have been told to lose, I don't know, 3 kilos in a week, which is crazy.
But this, even though it's not a week, but you need to lose 3 kilos, how do you know what I'm gonna look like with 3 kilos less?
Yeah, there should be like a support system, but everything is expensive. You know, we don't have nutritionists in school, we don't have psychologists.
What I think is very misunderstood is the amount of time that you give yourself to lose weight. So it's not about I need to lose weight and I take my time to do it with myself, with my body, yes, again, in a healthy way. Everybody is like, they told me I need to lose weight, so I have to do it as fast as I can. And it's like, no, we all have different metabolisms. Some of us need to eat more to lose weight, some of us need to eat less. And it's not a matter of time. It's like when you have a fight with your couple, no? That the two, like one of the two is like
it's different timing, different way of approaching.
It's like no, we don't need to fix it right now. Like it's not the moment. There is no pressure to fix this, you know. And it's a bit the same, like taking it more carefully and giving your time more space to understand yourself and everything. You maybe take 6 months, but then in the end you are healthy.
You make a plan,
And it's not about like, because also when you lose weight very fast, you also gain it very fast again if you don't take care.
Yeah.
So there is a whole process.
The whole problem, injury related, you know, that's another topic. Yeah. And amenorrhea, like not having the period.
I know people of 30 years old that didn't have periods
I know.
for like years. And I'm like, are we willing to do this to ourselves to be able to dance? Can I go with my question actually for you since it's about this?
Bye.
So, as we said the other day when we were taking the coffee, you are amazing, you're so beautiful, and for how I grew up, the standards that I grew up with, I feel like your body is the perfect ballerina body. So, have you ever had a moment where you didn't like yourself or you felt jealous about somebody else?
Okay, so thanks to my metabolism, my genes, I never had a struggle, let's say, with never had like eating disorders. Anyway, I'm very lucky because I'm very elongated, blah blah blah. But funny enough, I know sometimes some people they say, "Oh, you have such a beautiful body." Funny enough, I don't like my body. I don't like my body.
In che senso?
I know. I don't like my legs. I don't like my legs.
What do you mean?
I know, but it's so stupid. Like, I know, I'm so sorry. But I think it happens to everyone, to every dancer, when they watch their pictures and when they watch their videos. Because I'm very bony and I hate that of me. And, but like, well,
really?
Yeah. I struggled a lot with my lines. Let's stay vague with my lines.
But you have beautiful lines.
I don't agree, unfortunately, which is, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, people have been like sometimes giving compliments, but and it's crazy. This shows how people have a wrong perspective on themselves. And perception.
Yeah,
but this is
crazy.
I'm just being honest. Like, this is how I feel, and it has been like a point of struggle. But I was never jealous of anyone. Maybe I have been more jealous, but like in a healthy way, of very talented people that can just do steps.
Like what they say in
like
Spanish, no? Envidia sana.
Diciamo invidia sana. Like, I love this type of dancers that like we were speaking before, they don't take class for a week and they come in class and they're just, wow. This is something that sometimes I look at, let's say admiration. Admiration, but also I get frustrated.
There is no better way to call it than envidia sana.
Okay, let's keep it like that.
Which is like, I don't know, when one of your friends are going on holidays and you're working and you're like, I would love to be there, but you're not really jealous.
You have to deal with what you have. You have to, just, do with what you have.
And what you have is more than enough.
It's fine.
It's
fine. Yeah, no, I can't complain. Gifted. Yeah.
Totally gifted, yes.
Yeah. Which one shall we go to? So, talking about body perception, about these things, how much do you think confidence plays a role into a dancer's career or ballet technique or school days?
First of all, we create our confidence basing it on other people's compliments and comments, which this is, I don't know, something that always scared me a lot, no? Because then there are people, like, for example, what you just said, that are like really wow, and they're like, no, but I don't like my legs. Yeah. How can this happen, you know?
But maybe because someone made me feel uncomfortable about something. It's not that I just want,
That's the thing. Yeah. Plus you have the videos, you have your pictures, so you see that your legs are beautiful and they have beautiful lines, but in the end you don't like them, you know? So I wonder who and what made you think this way about yourself. And even when we think that a little comment doesn't make a difference, many times it does. Because these little comments are like...
They just get through.
They can get inside. Yeah, they can sneak under the door, you know, and get inside.
And they stay in the back of your mind,
and you're like, maybe this, yes, you needed to say it, but could have been done in a different way, you know?
So basically, the person standing in front of you shapes a bit the confidence.
Of what you think about yourself, what you think about others as well. Something that I didn't like at all when I was younger is that I couldn't enjoy my dance because I was so surrounded by people that were constantly judging others, even professionals, you know, that I'm like, dude, if the person is there doing what he's doing, there is a reason. So can we just enjoy it? I was unconfident dancing because I was imagining the comments that people would have done while I was there, and it's like, basta.
Such a heavy weight to carry. You already have to think about technique, steps, and all your other things, and thinking what...
At some point you don't even enjoy it anymore. It's just like performance, you know? And I feel like we lose so many talents because of this.
Yeah. For me, when I feel I have support from the front, when I have someone that appreciates me, I feel I dance completely different. I feel like it takes me time. Doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen from one class. But for example, here we have guest teachers, a lot of guest teachers. And when I feel that from the front there is some sort of respect, at least in the work I do, then I feel more confident in class. I feel more comfortable to actually stand in the center.
Yeah.
I naturally always stand in the front, but this is because I don't like having people like in front of me.
Oh my God, I hate this as well. To have so many people in front of me and feeling like a wall.
When you join in the Dresden Frankfurt company or in general?
Also in class, like to have a lot of people in front of me while I dance makes me feel like restricted.
For me too.
The fact that everybody's getting so mad if, I don't know, the new one is maybe standing sometimes in the front.
But, okay, I agree with what you say, like you shouldn't do the terrorism to the young kids that join the company, but also, I don't know how to like phrase it. I feel when you're new in the company, that's my opinion, and maybe we have different opinions. When you just join the company, you should have a little respect on whatever is surrounding you. And so I get really frustrated if I'm about to prepare for a combination and then suddenly a young kid just maybe more confidently just steps in front of me and prepares like here.
Ma sti cazzi, this is very rude. I am ready 7, 8 and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, young dancers that join the company should be free to stand in the front, of course, and take their space, because everyone should deserve to have their space and dance. It's not that class is just for some types of dancers and not others, but respect on space, like sides. Keep the meter distance, and then
Also, that's also social intelligence, I think. Not like when you know that you need to be in the center and in the front, but you're always in the center and in the front. You get it by yourself that other people might be like, dude, can I also have like a little bit
one
of
time?
space
Let me go for a
It's like the amount of times that you stand in the middle and in the front. Like we need to give each other space, and everybody should be able to. Go where
now
the fuck
you just
they want.
unlocked another thought, which was like sometimes we have auditions in the theater. Auditions, for example, like guest choreographers come in, and it's really intense because it's like maybe 20 dancers get to do the audition, whatever, it depends on the piece. And you have to try to go in the front because you know that, or like somewhere visible, because you know that they won't turn around people. So if you don't get to be seen, your chance is gone. Which I think sometimes they are careful about this, but from the front they should always say, okay, let's change the line.
Oh, totally.
Because sometimes you feel this pressure also around dancers that, like, you know, they want to be seen. Of course, everyone wants to have a chance. So it's not that, but from the front, so whoever is in charge of the rehearsal of the audition, they should say, please guys rotate, or let's do in smaller groups. And I told you this story already. One time I felt I was really unseen in the audition. So then the day after I showed up with the very bright pink shorts because I wanted to be seen. I wanted my chance. And at least if they didn't want me in the piece, they saw me. So I went with really bright clothes and it worked. I was seen. It worked.
So funny that this worked. I loved it.
Yeah, because for the first day I ended up in the back and it was very hard. I'm a bit lost now, but
Me too.
Completely.
Allora,
but it's okay.
Aspettate.
I wanted to ask you this one. Are you more of a watch this type of dancer than a I hope nobody's looking type of dancer?
It depends on what I am doing.
And it depends, like, maybe
it depends.
Who's in the room?
No, I don't think this was creating me problems. I think it was, first of all, the exchange that you get from the front. Even though I know this, doesn't have to be taken personal. As a teacher, I noticed that my students know me. They know that I have a really serious face, not my famous resting bitch face.
That some people do,
some people really made me feel uncomfortable for this when I was younger. They were calling it the Carola's Black Cloud.
Madonna.
Because maybe I was standing, in the corner, watching other people dancing, and I was so concentrated that my face was
annoyed, and angry with life.
The perception,
not the real feeling.
Totally. It was that I was mad or judging, but the point is that I have this kind of very serious face, and maybe inside I'm like, yes, go, you're doing amazing, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But in the end, outside, this is what it looks like, or even this is sometimes, but because I am so concentrated on what I am looking and what I have to correct, and it was depending on what I was dancing. Because I've always felt I'm a very powerful dancer. I'm not very elastic. I don't have so much mobility, but I'm very powerful. Actually, the people in my company were calling me bombastica,
explosive.
And, yes, and some other people were calling me the beast, because I'm always
like so cute.
It was cute, actually.
Because you're explosive.
Yes. And
so if you had to do that type of choreography or ballet,
that's when I felt more comfortable. Yeah. Like my eyes, my energy was going directly into that kind of dancing, because that's also how I am as a person. I'm very
you could connect.
I could connect.
Embrace it easily.
Yes, when I had to do things like more soft or things like this, since I was this kind of powerful, then I was feeling a little more comfortable because everybody was like, no, you're too powerful. You have to give less. Less is more sometimes, which is so true. And so it was depending. But this was in the studio. Actually, on stage, I was always the kind of dancer of, look at me. I was never like, no, I want to be on stage. I was always like...
Me too.
Because it feels like a meditation for me.
For me on stage it's easier, but I think it's for most of the dancers because you don't actually see people looking at you and it's performance time, whereas in rehearsal or in class, I feel like, on stage you have your moment and that's gone and you prepare for it and it's performance time. In class and in rehearsal, you see people looking, maybe judging, unfortunately, and then you feel, I don't know, you don't have that performance layer on, so it's way more difficult for me in the studio. Like I feel way more nervous usually in the studio than on stage.
And even sometimes it's harder to be performative in the studio because you get some certain, like you get certain comments that doesn't make you want to step in the performative mode. That's what I feel.
You can't like jump into the role or the mood every day. I feel I don't know, that's very challenging sometimes. And if it's a show time, then you have the costume, the makeup, and that's way easier. I wanted to say something, I forgot, Madonna. It was aspetta. See, I really struggle sometimes when what do you think about this, when teachers say that in class you should perform?
That's what I meant before.
It's a thin line.
It's a very thin line also because you have to perform, but at the same time, since the corrections are happening right after, it's very hard to get into that performative state of mind because, how can I say, for example, when they were telling me, I need you more into it with the emotions, I'm like, dude, I can get inside of it with my emotions, but as soon as I get out, if you look at me and you're like, yeah, that sucked,
it's
like how can
it's very hard to get back in.
Yes, I know that about when I am performing, you cannot say this. Even though you come after the performance, you cannot tell me this.
Your moment, it's on stage and you're alone and no one can like ruin
nobody
your bubble.
can come to you and be like, yeah, that sucked, So it's a very also different I think the teachers are taking the classes and the performance as two different dimensions, and that's also happening for us. We feel in two different dimensions. So of course, if you are doing Romeo and Juliet, you cannot do the full pas de deux with the face, Of course, you have to live in it. But I feel like on stage, you live it more with your everything, basically. And in class, you perform and you live it with your body more than your emotions.
Yeah. So when teachers say you should perform in class, I agree if they mean you should direct your energy, like you should present yourself, because presentation also puts you, the body, in a confident way. But performing like, I can't.
No, it's impossible.
At 10 in the morning, no. Like,
not even later, not even at 5.
Sometimes when we're really tired in rehearsals, it happened in the past, but it will happen in the future for sure. If you're really tired and maybe you've been repeating a piece for like 10 times, I enjoy going to the people that are dancing with me and be like, guys, shall we just like perform it as if it's the like performance of the life? And then it makes rehearsal so much fun.
It's a great way to like
find
keep
energy.
Keep the motivation up also between colleagues, no?
Yeah. To look at the fun way. Yeah.
Yes. Also because we're all on the same boat. So if we don't give each other energy, like where do we take it from?
Yeah, because sometimes repetition can feel boring, tiring. Maybe you have pains or somewhere.
This is something that I loved about my company though.
Da Jacopo Godani.
Yes, because especially on stage, we were like monsters. We were giving so much energy to each other. We were smiling, we were talking, we were like, oh, come on guys, we can do it, we can finish it. Because maybe after like 40 minutes of like a specific piece that is like super powerful and super heavy and super strong, you're like,
no, that helps so much.
Yeah,
Support.
and having your colleagues coming and be like, come on, we can do it, guys. Let's keep on going. It's like, oh, thank you.
Whoever has that extra energy and pulls the group, it's great.
Yes.
So we're talking about company now.
Should I make you a question? Because I'm not doing it since a while.
Vabbè.
How did you live the idea of entering a company as a student?
So my first company was Dresden Semperoper, so I also moved country, which was, a big difference, a big change in my life. I already did it because from Milan I went to London, then to London to Dresden, so that was already a huge change. But I was so scared. Luckily, there was a huge group of Italians, which, even though I was already speaking English because I lived in London for 3 years,
I was not speaking any English when I entered the company.
That's another topic. Like, kids should know English before entering a company. Otherwise,
totally, guys. It will cost you mental health.
Nowadays, everyone speaks English. But I know people that join like an international company, coming from wherever they come from, and they don't speak English. How do you get a correction? How do you get notes? Maybe you have the ballet master shouting at you and you don't know what they're saying at you.
But like, more than this, I feel like speaking, because understanding, you can understand most of the times, but speaking,
if you did basic English lessons,
like guys, speaking in the right way with your colleagues will save you years of therapy.
È vero.
I can guarantee this.
Yeah, because misunderstanding can create problems among colleagues. Luckily, English was by my side, even if I still had the Italian accent. But I think having a big group of Italian dancers helped, because from the beginning they made me feel like kind of protected. But it was really scary because when you join a company, you're 19, at least I was 19, and you join in a group that it could be of 50 dancers, whatever, 60, depends, and you have all ages. So it was really scary at first. Also, when I joined the company, I was asked to change my point shoes. So that was a little trauma because, first of all, in the school, we were not doing center on point so much. We just did it like for the exam. So I wasn't used to that. And that was a big challenge to take class on point every day. Now it's way better on point than in half point because I got used to, 10 years. But I had to change point shoes as well. So I had to go through, for the first months, this process of finding the right model for my feet. Another struggle I had, and I think that many students have when they join the company, is learning how to optimize or like how to use your time. Because in company, sometimes you have very busy days. Maybe you have like few months where you do from 10 until 6. But then maybe you have 2 months where you just finish after lunch. Sometimes it can happen, it depends. Maybe it's a triple bill and you're just rehearsing one piece of the 3, so then you have a free afternoon. And you have to learn how to take care of yourself because in school, everyone tells you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
Yeah.
In the company, you have to manage your time and everything else, and make sure you're healthy, you're strong, and
Also, this is another very important topic, I feel, because as you said, in school nobody's teaching you how to take care of yourself. What we said at the beginning, no? In school they tell you this is how it has to be done and this is how you are expected to do it. But the point is that when you're left with yourself and you have to choose, you're like, after school they need to have their moment to join the company and to understand how the environment works, how the people around them they are.
How the community works,
how
the society
works. Totally. Also because it's really like a little community what we have in the studio. I spend more times with my colleagues than my parents. They have to have the base on how to deal in the studio and with the colleagues. But the older ones, they also have to understand that the new ones, they need time to understand certain things. Because I saw many times this kind of situation with me, but also with others. For example, the positioning in class, the younger one positioning himself in one spot and the older one going and be like, this is my spot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, chill. Second, how am I supposed to know?
Yeah, say in a different way. Or
like, is there your name
for
written?
One day change bar spot, like it happened this morning. My usual bar spot was taken fine. It's nice. I take the class from another view.
I understand that for some people it's really important, the positioning, because they kind of get them to a different mental state.
Okay.
Yeah,
Makes
like
sense.
kind of, because like for example, I also had my spot at the bar, and I felt comfortable there because I felt like I was in my how do you say, in my nest. But the point is that my professionality doesn't change depending on a spot, so I can totally change spot and then I can go later and be like, sorry, just so you know, that's normally my spot. Can I go back?
Yeah, I would like to take class there. Do you mind if blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, and it's fine. Who's gonna tell you no? And then if they tell you no.
Yeah, then blacklist. No, I'm joking. Maybe not. But also another thing about company is that all of a sudden you're exposed to many different styles. So it takes time. So guys, if you're pre-professionals or just first year professional, just accept it, be curious, and ask people for help also.
Yes, being curious, I think it's the one thing that really makes, because many times you're scared of things and you're like, no, I don't feel like jumping into that.
And ask questions.
Like, don't limit yourself out of thoughts that you are creating on your own.
A colleague doesn't like me. I had this feeling many times, and then I discovered it was just their face, you know, like...
In Italy we say a pelle, it's like when you look at some skin. I don't think it's skin to skin.
Chemistry.
Yeah, it's like when you see that person and it's like, I really don't like that person for how it looks, no? But I mean, at some point you grow up and you're like, this cannot happen between adults.
Yeah,
at least you give the chance.
And you meet each other, exactly.
You give the chance to others to get to know you, for them to show you how they are. And one thing that I feel like we don't have so much the possibility to make mistakes, and it's from mistakes that you learn.
As a young dancer joining in the company, or in general?
Yeah, in general, but especially young dancers joining the company, we don't have so many possibilities to make mistakes, and mistakes are what are helping us to understand how the environment works. So as soon as I make mistakes, if I have somebody being like, it's like, oh my God, I didn't learn anything from this. I just got scared.
You feel people are not patient?
It depends, of course. It's not a general thing, but I personally had experiences like this. I know many people that had this kind of experience, and sometimes you're like, certain problems I could have solved them much earlier if the answer from the outside would have not been so.
Yeah. Did you ever, did you ever do a big mistake on stage, and then they as a young company members, and they were like crazy shouting at you or something like that? I don't know why I had this.
Allora, the thing is that I had different kind of experiences on stage. This and also the opposite. That I fucked up on stage in my first month, and I got shut out but then when I did the thing that everybody should have been but since you are criticizing, then when somebody does something good, say something nice. I mean, of course, it's my job, it's our work to do things well on stage because we're paid to do it, but it's more like a human side,
exchange.
Yeah. And in the end, nobody ever told me anything about it.
It was given for granted.
It was taken for granted, you know? And I'm like, either you don't comment when things are going bad, but if you comment when things are going bad, then you should also comment when things are going good. You need to give a balance to the person.
The problem with this is that you have a very good self-awareness of yourself. Now maybe, okay.
Now.
I didn't meet you at the time, but when you're young, you don't have this self-awareness. So if no one comes to you to tell you did like a good or a decent job, you think you did not well. At least my brain tends to go always on the negative side, if no one said a compliment. Just with time and experience, you actually realize when you do a good job, because when you're young, you rely on other people's comments.
I remember I finished the performance and I think I did well, because just putting this on stage in less than an hour made me say, yes, I did a good job. But then when I was by myself, I was like, Minchia, they're always telling me when I'm doing things wrong, but then when I do something right, nobody gives a shit,
no one appreciates it. No one gives attention to that.
No one gives attention to it. Which after changed. This happened at the beginning. And to you? Have you ever fucked up on stage something big?
I did. So, but I have to say the ballet master was super nice when I did. So I have the positive story. It was my first time. Madonna, I feel like a bit, but it's fine, it happens. I was doing one of the fairies in the Sleeping Beauty, and it was the first role, like a solo role with the Stuttgart Ballet, and I was really having a great time on stage, like smiling, enjoying the music. And I was the Eleganto beauty fairy, and there are, a certain amount of parts. And after the second part, I immediately jumped to the fourth one, skipping the third.
What do you mean?
I wait for 1 second. I went into the next because I was thinking about I was really having a great time, enjoying my time. So I was in the clouds, and then I was thinking about a correction, and I thought, while I was dancing, think about that. So I went directly to that step, and then as I did the first step, I heard the music, and I thought, why is he playing? Like, why did he skip a phrase?
Why the full orchestra?
Why? No, sorry. Yeah, why we did the full orchestra?
Why the full orchestra is wrong?
But the ballet master was so cute because as I was changing from first act prologue until I don't know which break it was, I had to also jump in for Jules because a girl had pain in the feet, and she came and she was like, Giulia, very beautiful the solo. You did a little shalala, like a little. So it was really but you hide it quite well. So that was a positive experience of making a mistake and not being like.
Yes, you're never getting on stage again.
Luckily, that was the most iconic one.
Yeah, me iconic that I can remember that I did that everybody was like, No, on stage it never happened. But I told you about the socks situation before.
Yeah,
that happened. So we had this piece, and this is my version for how I remember it. So
if you have the other version,
if you have another version, you can comment it. And remember the hype buttons. And remember to follow. And remember
subscribe,
the like.
And yeah, of course.
We had this show. And we had a 20 minutes duet before I was going back on stage with some other colleagues. And I went outside to smoke. I went back inside and I had to wear socks. And we had skin color socks. And of course, what do you do behind, in the backstage? You don't put any other clothes. If there is full black behind, there is no light at all. So I knew my bag was kind of here. And I see these socks next to my bag. And apparently they were not mine. And what happened that I wore the wrong socks.
You wore the white ones.
The white ones.
And you didn't see it.
And I didn't see because it was pitch black behind. The only light that we had backstage was the light from the stage that was coming behind. Bad timing. But also placing. Why are you leaving your socks there?
To confuse you, sabotage.
No, I don't think it was intentional, but anyways, I was the one that took the shit.
Yeah.
Because then I went on stage, I had white socks, imagine my face when I did like this, and I saw them white. I wanted to kill myself. And some people came to me telling me, XX and X want to kill you. And I was like, well, I want to kill the person that left the socks behind next to my bag, And in the end, I never got to discover from who those socks were. Imagine the person that went home without socks that night to don't say anything.
One of my nightmares is actually to go on stage with leg warmers, to forget them, that you have them on, and they just go on.
Yes.
And then once you're on, what do? Either you go out or you keep them on.
Should I go with another question?
Bye.
The funnier event in the company, whatever company you've been to.
No, my second year in the company, we were doing Bayadere, we were doing shades, and it was the coda. So when we enter with the and the shades have this veil attached to their wrists and elbows and attached to the bun. And there was my friend on the other side, so I was the leader of my line, and from the other wing, from the other side, there was my friend, and we started t'enlever, balancer en tournant, do you call it this way? on the second one, I see that her veil is fully on her face. So she had her arm locked like this, and she couldn't, somehow a pin got stuck, she couldn't. And then we have this ta-ta, 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 this whole coda with the retiré. And she was talking to me, shouting at me like, Giulia, she was Italian, she's Italian, Giulia, I can't get it off of my face, it's still there. Like, and I was just trying, I was laughing. And it's not ballet where you should be laughing in that moment. And I was trying to hide my laughter with like closing my eyes and making it look like dramatic. We were just laughing so much. Luckily, like we are tall, so we're usually at the back, so we're not front line. But they were more focused probably on her veil and her arms stuck and like her face covered almost. Until the end, she couldn't like get it off. I think she ripped it at the end. But I was there and I was like, are you okay? No, it's still on. It was hilarious. That was the funniest, I think. Also because it was my friend. So I think that's, if it was a person I didn't know, I wouldn't have been laughing. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, mine, it's funny to, I think it was funny to be there in that moment more than seeing it. I was rehearsing a very long pas de deux. We were in the studio and I had my period. So what happens that I have a lot of period since I am young, like the quantity. And it's fine. It's fine to say it. We should talk more about these kind of things. It's periods. So I have a lot of periods.
Yeah. You have a heavy flow.
I have a heavy flow. I was rehearsing this pas de deux with my colleague, and the pas de deux was a pas de deux. That was becoming a quartet, and then it was becoming a pas de deux again.
Okay.
So more or less, we were the first couple, and we were on stage for about 10 minutes dancing. All of a sudden, we have a lift, and I feel my external is not tampon if it's external.
It's the pad.
It's the pad. I feel my pad going a little bit to the side, and I was like, annoying, but I didn't actually notice that it was so much
Beep.
to the side. And what happened that we had this last lift of the duet, and the guy was like pulling me up, lifting me up, and then was like making me come down with the S on the chest, and then he was like making me sliding into his torso. But what happened? My pants were stained, and all of a sudden we finished the quartet doing the chaînés towards the public. We stop looking at the public, and then we have to look at the pianist at some point when he touches the first note. I go like this, you're my colleague, I go like this, and I see like the white t-shirt from here until the pelvis, like with the line of blood. And I was like, oh.
T-shirt is lava.
I think this never happened to anybody in dance history besides me. But I have to say that he reacted very nicely. Like he just looked at it, he looked at me without knowing what to say, me too. And I was like, just take it off. I go to wash it immediately, and it like went white. Perfect again.
Yeah.
But it was such a moment.
It's uncomfortable. About an uncomfortable event on stage, there was this leotard with this mesh part, and apparently I did the whole piece with the leotard down and like the mesh showing private parts. And my friend luckily didn't tell me on stage, otherwise I would have freaked out. And going out, it was like, by the way, Giulia, so just you know, you did the whole piece with like your little
your boobies there
out. That's super uncomfortable. Like I have very uncomfortable costumes, and like worrying on stage that something will come out, that's horrible. Because
actually,
everyone has different shapes of breast, and sometimes the costume designers or costume department, they want the costume to be low. But if your breast is high, then it means that if you twist and bend and move your chest, then the breast will come out.
Yeah.
And just because they think it's pretty, it should compromise your comfort. That's super annoying.
It happened that we had black tights, like very thin tights, and I was in the dressing room getting ready, and the ballet master comes in at some point and he's like, Carola, you have to be on stage tonight, because X was getting ready, and all of a sudden the chandelier fell on her head.
No.
I was like, when he told me, I was like, oh my God, Babette, first of all, is she okay? Is everything? She was fine. So that's why I'm laughing also, because nothing happened. But yeah, the situation was you have to be on stage in half an hour. So I went on stage. And I was actually sorry for her, but I was happy to dance it because it was the last show, I think. and the first 8 counts ends with the elbow going like this, and then a grand plie alla seconde with the elbow on the knee. The moment I position the elbow on the knee, I hear crock.
The tights.
They cracked, they were completely ripped. They had some people looking at me and laughing, like sometimes you could hear some voices from the public laughing, but what was I supposed to do? I was laughing as well, because I was like, what the fuck is happening today with this show?
Yeah. Why? Oh my God, now they were talking about stage moments. Poor girl, there was this girl that did the whole end of second act Swan Lake with her shoe out.
No, that was a nightmare for me.
Her shoe, I don't know how, but it went out. It flipped.
From the front also.
Yes. She was very young, so she was crying afterwards, of course. But it's such an unfortunate event, but I don't know how she did it.
Like, also because you feel so bad, no? Because this is one of
you
the
could
main
hurt
things.
Yourself. Like,
yes, first of all, you can hurt yourself, yes.
Where do you put your foot if your point shoe is flopping?
Yeah, this makes you feel so bad when it happens on stage, something with the shoe, because it's like one of the main points about professionals on stage. Don't show the strings, don't have the heel falling out. You feel so bad because you're like, I looked unprofessional, you know, but it's not true, it can happen
once
sometimes.
Every, I don't know how many...
Morte di papa.
It can happen. It can happen. We're human beings. We're no machines.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of live performance.
Oddio, avvocato, the beauty.
The excitement. I have one last, I don't know why it's coming to me. The Sleeping Beauty with the Stuttgart Ballet, and the fire alarm started ringing during the waltz of first act. So it was so much funny. It was really funny because we were dancing and not knowing what to do, but not stopping because we were getting to the end. So at some point, we're there and finally the waltz finishes and the audience is standing up, the lights are on, and the audience is telling us, go dancers, leave.
I live for this and I'm gonna die for this.
Exactly. And then the stage manager was also like, okay guys, basta. And we went out, everything was fine. But that was funny because we were talking and looking at each other like, guys, what shall we do? Also no one wants to be the first one giving up. Who is
are we all
leaving first? I want to leave, but who's doing it first? The public telling the dancers, guys, save your lives. Anyway, you wanted to go back.
Can we talk about the situation that there is during the classes about the outfits during the periods? Because I had very uncomfortable situations. I don't know, you guys was in school. I wanted to put shorts, like the runner shorts, and they wouldn't let me. And I would end with blood on my tights at the end of the class, but in the end I had to notice. Because I'm like, you don't want me to put the shorts because you want to keep the formal thing for everybody. But at least take the responsibility in the moment where you see that I have blood somewhere to tell me Caro, you should leave, you should go change yourself, because that's the point. They don't let you.
That's horrible.
It's terrible. They don't let you wear the clothes that you need to wear to feel comfortable, but at the same time they don't tell you when it's happening, or they tell you in the wrong way, and it's like, what is the problem about these shorts?
That's horrible. Oh, at least also a skirt could help.
But no, because if I
have
a skirt
on
top of the pants, you mean? But then you're covering, because the point is, no, you cannot have longer shorts because then you cover the lines. And I'm like, no.
So actually black tights could be better.
Also, black tights could be good.
If you want the line,
But also, is it really that annoying to see black runner pants?
No.
No, because you see the lines, and at least if you are having problems with your pad or your tampon, blah, 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 you're still covered and you don't feel uncomfortable. Because I remember doing Grand Batman and being looking at myself like this in the mirror and being like...
No. Nightmare. There should be communication, first of all, between student and teacher. That's the most important thing. The teacher, the mature person should go to the student and be like, okay, what's your situation? Let's face it in a way that everyone can be comfortable.
Totally, yes. Yeah. Also because I'm not the only one being put in an uncomfortable situation, because as a teacher, you feel uncomfortable when it happens.
Yeah.
The student and the teacher, because as a teacher, you have to go and be like, look, there is this thing that happened. It's normal. It's nothing important. You didn't kill anybody. But still, these super short pants. So they are categorized as Yes, you have your period,
But it does nothing to you.
but it doesn't cover you because
Sure.
the pants are like super short, you know, so even though you open your legs, like it's still
Makes no
visible.
difference.
The only difference it makes is that everybody knows that you have your period.
Basta. Yeah.
That's it.
Timbro.
Yes. Talking about it with a teacher can make a huge difference, you know, because
Yeah.
maybe they can give you advices when it happened to them, or maybe, I don't know, they have something natural that they would take when they were dancers to avoid this problem of having pain.
There's a huge topic
yes.
about. But Caro, we've been going on for more than an hour. I think it's time to wrap it up. If you have any comments about this chit chat, any questions to forward to me or to Carola, then just comment below and hype, as she said.
Yes, the hype button, please, guys, because it's free for you, but it helps our pages.
That's it for today. I hope we made sense. We didn't ramble too much, like blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so bye-bye.
Thank you guys for
Thank
watching.
you guys for watching.
In case you have any questions or anything you want to share, you know
We're
where
here.
to find us. Giulia on YouTube, and that's it, or also Instagram. Are you also giving
Also
your
Instagram, but I
No?
have different type of content. Like it's more private on Instagram, and
Yeah.
like YouTube is ballet related, like a lot of ballet.
Okay.
Just ballet, actually.
And me, you find me on YouTube with The Complete Dancer and on Instagram with The Complete Dancer.
Ciao ciao!
Ciao guys, thank
Bye.
you.
Vado, vediamo se abbiamo avuto dei problemi.
Non penso. Il mio ho visto che andava avanti per più di un'ora e mezza prima.
Il mio si è spento.